What up, what up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm J and we're locked in. This is episode 6 to recap a task on HBO, and we got one episode left. Now, where we left off, we seen Robbie in the woods trying to set up a meeting with Jayson to give them the dope. But Tom showed up and he stopped all of it. So that's where we picking up this week. And we know that Robbie and Tom, they had a little interaction with each other. I won't say they were on good terms, but they understand each other for the most part. Now, before we jump into this and break down episode 6 of Task, if you like cops and robbers, if you like good versus evil, then this show might be the series for you. There's one episode left, 7 episodes. It's a limited series. So if you want to see this kind of content, hit that subscribe button, turn on your notification bell so you get something every time I upload. Make sure you hit that like button and help me get to 60,000 subscribers. But let's go ahead and jump into it. This is the recap of episode 6 Task on HBO. We start the episode off with the standoff between Robbie and Tom. Tom's talking about, put it down, Robbie. Robbie ain't going out like no punk. Robbie, he has a plan. He's trying to get up out of here, get to Canada, send some money back to Maeve, and make sure his kids are straight. But while he's sitting there, Jayson and Perry, they're watching because they are after our boy Robbie. Jayson, he wants that dope, so he gets the firing. Pop, pop, pop. That makes Robbie shoot back. Now Tom is shoot. Then the rest of the task force shows up. Anthony, Aleah, Lizzie. We even got Chief out here. So now everyone is just going at it. Robbie, he's hitting the woods. Tom is chasing after Robbie. Jayson is chasing after Robbie. All hell has broke loose. As they're running through the woods, Jayson and the crew is chasing after Robbie. They shooting. Robbie ends up catching a body to save Tom. He drags Tom up to the cabin. Tom is in there talking about, put the gun down, Robbie. Put the gun down. Robbie said, man, you ain't even got no bullets left. I seen the slide back. Basically, he's out of ammo. You didn't already shot everything. But while that's going on, there's still a little mini war going outside in the woods. So now it's the task force versus the Dark Knights, and everyone is just going at it. When they get to the house, Robbie and Tom, they're there, and Jayson and Perry catch up with them. So Robbie, he still has a plan. He's like, Tom, hide. I'm about to get the hell up out of here. Just be quiet. They ain't gonna do nothing. There's a lot of commotion going on. Inside of the cabin, Perry went in there. Perry's whooping on Tom. I'm talking about giving him the business. I'm talking about flag on the play. While that's going on, Robbie is running. Jayson's telling after him. He's shooting back at Jayson. Pow, pow, pow. Jayson shooting at him. Pow, pow. Jayson runs out of ammo. And at this point, Robbie doesn't have anywhere else to go. So he takes the bag and he's like, Jayson, you want this? And he throws the bag of dope out into the river. Now he's headed back up because at this point, I ain't got the drugs on me, but you're going to have to see me. If this is how it's going to end, I'm going out guns blazing. Lizzie and Anthony, they're out there having a shootout with the gang also. But we got to remember, Anthony is playing both sides, and he's telling them to get the hell out of here. Don't chase after him. Remember, he also called Jayson and them and said, do not pursue, because Robbie has Tom, an FBI agent, after him. Now, she ends up getting shot by the side of her ear. The gun goes off because Anthony saves her. Now she can't hear. All she has is ringing in her ear. So she's still trying to do her job, but Anthony's playing both sides and leading her astray, but also trying to help out the bad guys. Tom ends up turning the tide. He chokes out Perry. I'm like, oh, thank you. Because it didn't look like Tom could fight at first. Now, the same thing is going on. Robbie and Jayson, they going at it. No more guns, just straight fist to fist. And Robbie, he's doing it. Robbie got the upper hand. Pow, pow, pow. And he's doing this for his older brother because we know Jayson also took out his older brother. So now he begins to start choking Jayson out. And I'm like, yeah, there we go. Robbie's about to get away. But as they get on the ground, Jayson had a pocket knife, stabs Robbie in his gut. He rolls over and he's about to take him out, but Tom pulls up, pow, and chases Jayson out. Lizzie, she's running off, but remember, she can't hear. Her ear is tore up from when Anthony shot next to it to save her. Now, one of the guys that's been chasing after them, he pulls up in front of her, and Lizzie's like, put the gun down. You hear Anthony in the back like, don't kill him, don't shoot him. Put the gun down, Lizzie, I got a good shot on him. But the dude, I guess he's feeling a little cocky, and he makes a sudden movement, and bow! Lizzie ain't playing. Lizzie lays him out. So Lizzie catches a body. Anthony runs over there. Lizzie's like, let me get back to the vehicle and call for backup, which should have been the first move that they did when this shootout started in the woods. But now Lizzie, she discombobulated. Her whole balance is all off. The equilibrium, don't know which way is north. She's headed back to the vehicle. She's going to get backup. Lizzie's sprinting, and all you hear is a little ring in her ear. She's headed back to the vehicle. She's calling, I don't know where we're at. We're on the bridge. Send backup. Send backup. Jayson and Perry, they hop in their truck. They headed down. Anthony's running towards the bridge. Aleah comes out the other side of the woods. Remember, she can't hear anything. All she can hear is muffled. Blah, 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 blah. She turns around and looks in the middle of the street, and boom! Jayson hits her with the F-150, knocks her to the side of the bridge. Anthony pulls up, Aleah pulls up, and it doesn't look like our girl Lizzie's gonna make it through this. I'm talking about a head-on collision. It's a lot going on this episode, and Tom got Robbie in the police car, and they're headed to the hospital. It's about 10 to 15 minutes away. But as we see him riding there, unfortunately, Robbie is starting to slip away. We see him looking and thinking about his family, thinking about his brother, thinking about swimming in the quarry. And then after that, it all just stops. And while they're in the back of the vehicle, Tom checks his pulse and he's like, damn, he's gone. We lost a good one, guys. Robbie, R.I.P. because of a knife wound to the gut. Everyone gets back to the hospital and they're checking on Lizzie, but unfortunately, Lizzie, she didn't make it. In Chief, she's shot up, but she'll recover. Everyone is sitting around and Tom is telling Anthony, don't blame yourself. This isn't on you. But in reality, we know what's going on behind the scenes. This is all on Anthony. But the FBI top guns come in and they say, I need everyone's weapons because there's an investigation. Whenever an agent is deleted, that triggers an investigation. So right now, everyone's like, damn, that's messed up. Even Tom is like, why are you doing this? They said, don't worry about it. Talk to your union reps. Go home, get you some rest. You guys are off until we say so. Basically, they shut the whole task force down. It looks like things are starting to crumble on Anthony. They done took his gun. Him and Lizzie got close. She's no longer here. Now, remember, the task force was put together by local police from different departments. Anthony has an old person that he used to work with that came over and like, wake your ass up. You need to shut your mouth because we need to know what information they have about the Dark Hearts. When he goes in to talk to his union rep on Wednesday, his old co-worker is telling him be quiet because he doesn't want Anthony to expose the whole ring that they had with the Dark Hearts where they were doing some illicit activities, aka letting them fly up under the radar without arresting them. So Anthony, he's gonna have to keep it together because it's closing in on him. Now, Tom is putting two and two together. He's talking to Maeve, Robbie's niece, because after Robbie got deleted, you got to talk to the next of kin. Now, she's in there crying because she lost her uncle, same way she lost her dad to this gang, the Dark Hearts. Now, she does start confessing that she was the one that was going to turn in Sam, and Tom reminds her, we did meet each other. So right now, she's crying because she's hurt, and she didn't want to get caught up in any of this, and we know that behind the scenes. So Tom, he's trying to be good with her. He also asked her about Cliff. Now, we haven't seen Cliff since he got ran off the road. But remember, they were setting up a sting to get Cliff at one part, but he went to a different part. And that's because Anthony was making the text messages off of the evidence phone before he put it back in there. So now Tom, he's looking like, okay, I'm getting closer and closer. I need to find out who was using that phone. Tom goes to check on Sam. Now, Sam's supposed to be in a decent little house where they keep these children. But when he pulls up to it looks like an old juvenile detention facility. And they have Sam in here. Now, Sam isn't a criminal, but the county lost funding. So they had to renovate this and make do with what they got. Now, he goes in there and he's trying to get close to Sam because Sam doesn't have anybody. Both his parents are gone. After Tom visits Sam, he says these living conditions, they are not acceptable. So he takes him home. Emily and Sarah, they're sitting down together. They're watching TV. They done got closer with each other. They all go into the kitchen and leave Sam in the living room. And they're like, what is this boy doing here? And at this point, Tom doesn't have anything else going for him. He loses it. And he says, what would my wife have done? Since their act of foster parents, he took Sam with him because those living conditions were not acceptable. And he's like, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to keep him here with us until we figure out what's happening, because he lost both of his parents. And the last family he had was Robbie and Maeve. And that's unacceptable also. Tom is not going to stop until he figures out this case. The task force is closed. You heard his daughter Sarah say, I hope you go back to the career field where you handing out flyers and stuff at the career fairs. But he goes over and he talks to Chief. He's like, Chief, what's going on? Why are we being investigated? She's like, well, there was a complaint about Anthony in 2021, but there was never any charges. So Anthony's been under investigation for potentially helping the Dark Hearts. But since he was never charged, they let him continue on. Now, we know Chief, she's doing a little bit of dirt behind the scenes also with Perry, but that's not here yet. We'll worry about that on another day. So Tom is upset. Like, why didn't you tell me that this fool, Anthony, could have potentially been working with the Dark Hearts? And we know that's why everything went down the way it did. Jayson and Perry, they're on the run. I'm talking about federal agents have been popped. Federal agents have been deleted. Robbie, deleted. They still trying to get this dope. Jayson's calling around trying to find Aaron. We know that Perry deleted Aaron in the water. He drowned her because she was the one working with Cliff and with Robbie. So right now, no one can trust anyone because there's no honor amongst thieves. But Jayson, he don't care about any of that. He wants to know where Aaron is, and he wants to know where the dope is. Tom is connecting the dots. He's the only one working, even though he ain't on the clock. He goes over to Anthony's house. We know Anthony has already been paid a visit by his old co-worker, so he's in here drinking. Tom is like, yeah, is everything all right? You good? But now Tom, he starts to drop photos. Cliff didn't go to the park that we were supposed to go to. He went to a different park. And you have connections with the Dark Hearts, even though you weren't convicted. I know about the investigation on you. So now he's telling Anthony, I'm coming after you until I figure out what you had going on. Anthony's sitting there with a cigarette, and he looks at him and he tells Tom, well, come after me, because he feels as long as he doesn't say anything, then nothing is going to stick. And the last thing we see before we head into the finale is everyone coming to the realization of what's been going on. Aleah comes to Tom's house like, what's happening? And he starts to expose that Anthony was the mole. Jayson and Perry, they're walking the river. They end up finding the bag of dope, but they open it up, and what's in there? A bag of books talking about own a piece of Canada. And over at the house, Maeve is sitting there, and a lady knocks on the door. You guys remember her. She knocks on the door and gives Maeve a bag. And in that bag is the dope money. That's because we know that Robbie made a deal. They didn't show us, but Robbie made a deal to sell the dope. And he said he had a plan when he was talking to Tom in the cabin. And he made sure that Maeve and his kids would be straight. All right, there you go. Episode 6, The Task. I will say that this is a good ass series. It is a limited series, but they done a lot in just the 6 episodes that we witnessed. Let me know what would be the first thing you do with that cash. And if you ever watched Ozark, remember, you can't just go and spend all this cash. You got to wash that money and turn this dirty money into good money, clean money. But let me know what you think about that. R.I.P. to Robbie. You know, he was a good guy. R.I.P. to Lizzie. She was just now coming to. Let me know what you think about this episode. I'm Mo.J. This is the episode 6 recap of Tasks. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you like this kind of content. Help me get to 60,000 subscribers. Thanks for watching. I'm out.
Jimmy on the beat, boy.